Tell us, how did you get inspired to study this character Chanakya? When did ये चाणक्य का भूत कभी आया आपके पास अंदर?
वो भूत अभी भी जाता नहीं. So it starts with the family. As I told you, the first guru will be your parents only. So I've been very fortunate that my father, he's my first guru, including my mother, of course. So I would call him a yogi. He meditates even today at 86, 10 hours a day. He writes books. Yeah, he's a very healthy person. He's one of the greatest philosophers that I have found in my life. So what happened, he encouraged me right from my beginning to read scriptures. That's very important. That's what I introduce children to Indian scriptures. Very important. It's a wisdom of knowledge. So he himself was a very well-read person. He's an engineer. And so read a lot. And always used to tell me, okay, that's fine, but read the complete works of Swami Vivekananda. Then one line, he used to give me an activity for the next 2 years. So precise, but kaam pe laga dete. Then he used to ask, okay, what is Swami Vivekananda? He used to never teach me formally, okay? He used to give me this thing. But I know he has read it. I used to read the whole thing, and after 2 years, I used to come back and say, let's debate and discuss. Okay? Now coming back, this is the first thing that got me introduced to Indian scriptures. The second thing is Chinmaya Mission. I request all of you to make sure your children are part of some study class of scriptures. Not a lot of online things available. A lot of spiritual organizations do that. You decide. Okay, for me, Chinmaya Mission works. And it's worked, since I've been from childhood. वहाँ पे शास्त्रीय पद्धति में उन्होंने सिखाया. Like I have studied all the 18 chapters of Bhagavad Gita. I have given lectures on Upanishads when I was in college. And that time it was not the fad. मैंने कि बाबा बनेगा क्या? नहीं, बाबी भी लेके आ सकते हैं. So these two foundations were there. Now coming back to Chanakya, I think like many of us, we have heard about Chanakya, isn't it? But we have not studied Chanakya. So I'll tell you what triggered me. I would say there are two major points that triggered. Okay, the first point was that I used to be working in my early stages of my career, and I had a meeting near Mahalakshmi. Okay, all of you know Mahalakshmi, right? It's not very far away. And near Mahalakshmi temple, so I had this 1 hour gap before the meeting, so I was already there. So sales mein hota to 3-4 meeting karna hai. So 1 hour, what to do? So this reading culture was already there in our house, as I told you. So there's a bookstore, I'm not sure whether it still exists, called Motilal Banarasi Das. Mahalakshmi mein chota sa hai. And the whole bookstore is about subjects of Indology. I hope you know what is Indology. Subjects connected to Indian sciences, Ayurveda, astrology, yoga, meditation, but Indian. Okay, Buddhism, Jainism, a lot of things are there. बोला ठीक है जाते हैं अंदर अब 1 घंटा एसी में you go in like a mall and wow. And to be very frank, I had just browsing, okay, window shopping. So I went over there and it was time up and to go and let me go. And suddenly I realized one thing, there was a pile of books which was kept over there which said, कि अभी throw away होता है ना, because some pages are torn and this and all those things. So suddenly it maybe 400 rupee book was like 100 rupees and all that. मैं बोला अच्छा है, let me take away something. होता है ना सस्ते में मिल जाता है. तो suddenly मैं देखा तो अर्थशास्त्र ऑफ कौटिल्य. वाओ, बोले 100 रुपया तो है, ले ले क्या. तो घर पे तो बोल के रखा था कि बुक्स के बारे में कंजूसी नहीं. In our family, even if they are spending 20,000 rupees on books, we don't object to our children. Huh? But they're wasting 2 rupees also, we are very strict about it. So we realized one thing. So Papa, then fortunately I was earning also. They picked up that 100 rupee. 6,000 sutras in original Sanskrit. पढ़ा कुछ नहीं समझा. Second time पढ़ा बिल्कुल नहीं समझा. Third time तो और इरादा पक्का कर लिया कि अभी तो समझूंगा जरूर. So I called up Chinmaya Mission and told them I want to study the Kautilya Arthashastra. They said we don't have Kautilya Arthashastra, Kautilya Arthashastra. So I went to Kerala. I studied all the 6,000 sutras in original Sanskrit. One teacher, one student. The course was created for me. Dr. Gangadhar Nair. I studied all the 6,000 sutras. I came back. I started, I don't know why. People suddenly said, you're a scholar. Kuch scholar, kuch nahi, dhande mein apply kar raha tha. All the Chanakya principles started working for me. People started calling me for, lectures, talks on Chanakya, books and all later on happened. But the second turning point is very important. I had gone to Kailash Mansarovar during that particular time, and believe me, it is not a place. It is a place between heaven and earth. Okay, so I went over there. I don't know why. First time I saw Kailash, the first thing that hit me, dedicate your life to Arthashastra. So मैं बोला यार ऐसे कुछ भी random thought है. But that thought never left me. And I asked my wife, she was there in the Kailash Mansarovar. I don't know why this strange thought is coming. And it's said, in certain spiritual places when you go, you get a direction in your life, isn't it? So I don't know why, and it's never left me. So I would say purely how did I get interested with Chanakya is because number one, reading culture was there for scripture. Secondly, this whole thing that happened. The interesting part is that Chanakya is an open source knowledge. It's not like मैंने कुछ create किया है. इसलिए मैं तो बिंदास बोलता हूँ जिसको लेना है लो recording करो क्या फर्क पड़ता है. मैं मर जाऊंगा लेकिन मेरा ज्ञान बढ़ता रहेगा. So one last thing I like to also say, when I studied the Arthashastra 6000 Sutras under Dr. Gangadhar Nair, asked him, what's the fees that I'll give? So in fees, in Indian traditional thing, it is Guru Dakshina. And yes. It is not before the course, it is after the course. पहला तो donation दो, बाद में admission देंगे, पढ़ाएंगे नहीं. And he taught me everything. And then when I left, of course, he told write a research paper, not an exam. Well, I did not know what is a research paper. I was not an academician. Somewhere I studied everything. I wrote that research paper. And today it's one of the most path-breaking research papers in the academia. Anyway, so when I was leaving and saying, sir, Guru Dakshina, I don't take money. Fortunately, he was financially doing well. So it's not like, bechara Sanskrit ka teacher, aisa kuch nahi hai. So don't have this image ki bechara khane pine ko kuch nahi hai. Sanskrit scholar in a great university in Kerala. Two of his children, including the Bahus, IIT, IIMs. The son has got almost 7 houses in US. So you can think how rich he is. So, but hota hai na. पंडित जी को जब तक दक्षिणा नहीं देते ज्ञान भी पूरा नहीं होता है. तो गुरु दक्षिणा नहीं देते तो कैसा था. जस्ट आस्क्ड हिम सर नो बट गुरु दक्षिणा तो देना पड़ेगा. हाँ तो एक काम करना. माय गुरु दक्षिणा इज दैट यू शुड स्प्रेड द नॉलेज दैट यू हैव गॉट. एंड सरप्राइजिंगली दैट ईयर वाज अ वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग ईयर when Arthashastra of Kautilya was discovered for our generation in Mysore University, Oriental Research Institution in Mysore. Shama Shastri, the book जो मैंने उठाया था मोतीलाल से, and it was 100 years. मैं बोला अरे the good opportunity. So I will give 100 lectures in 1 year as my contribution to centenary celebrations of Kautilya Arthashastra's rediscovery. Yes. People still call me for talks. Thank you, Bloom.
Now tell us, after studying so much about Chanakya, his wisdom, his knowledge and what he has written, and it is timeless wisdom, how did one person have so much knowledge? As a mere mortal, or do you think he was at a different spiritual level for him to have been given this knowledge to spread?
Yeah, it's a very nice question that you asked. Chanakya's knowledge is not ancient; it is eternal. There's a difference. Ancient means Purana. But I don't know if you read yesterday or today. It was in the papers. Modi ji said, modernization doesn't mean killing the old.
Yes.
Very interesting thought. जैसे आपने वाराणसी का देखा होगा ना.
Yeah.
He's kept the old thing, but in a modern way. And unfortunately, it has entered into our heads that modernization is equal to westernization.
Yes.
So coming when we have to modernize. So my contribution to Chanakya has been modernizing his thought. Because one of the things I'm very clear, absolutely clear, I'm not a historian. If I'm a historian, then you'll get bored after a point. एक बार कहानी सुन लिया, 2 बार कहानी, फिर थोड़ा रेफरेंस दे दिया, एक बार पिक्चर देख लिया, खत्म ना, उसके बाद क्या है. My value addition is that I think about Chanakya and say, how do we apply it differently? So now coming back, this whole Chanakya stuck to me because of 2 reasons. Number one, the research is very solid. Solid. I mean, it's like 21 years, okay? It's not small. I always wonder, wow. And good part is that everything is documented. So sometimes you have it in your head, but you don't know how to communicate. So document, videos, thousands of videos are there, okay? Just go and Google. 21 books, by the way, I've written Homo books.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay, now coming to that part. So what kept me inspiring is all the things that I have done, I've kept it documented. I have complete records. I have a fantastic office which keeps every single thing that I write, kept it documented. The second important thing is the inspiration comes from people like you. Okay, so when you say, oh, I'm ready to listen, and one of you will come and sir, मेरे को आपसे मिलना है, थोड़ा Chanakya discuss करना है, 1-to-1 बात करना है. I say yes. It's like an award, okay? So yesterday in Raj Bhavan when I was getting the award, the governor said something very nice, saying that awards are like the petrol in the car. You want to drive, but you don't have the energy. So when you have an award or a reward, you'll be like, I'm in the right track. So there's so much appreciation coming. And let me tell you, it also helped me materially. Many times this happens when you're in such a field like Indology and all those things. Paisa vaisa banata hai. A lot of people have this question. Paisa vaisa banata hai kya? Well, I'm the single earning member of my family and we are having a good lifestyle. So what has helped me to keep on the path is that it's also financially viable. And one of the reasons why people shift their careers is that many of the love or the interest is not financially viable. So I've been absolutely fortunate that I've been on the track because 21 years of solid research, popularity, name, fame, you are loved, and also financially working.
I think the last sentence is more important. As long as it works financially, घर चलता है तब तक आदमी फिर सोचता नहीं है. This is what I want to do. This is what I need to do. Having said that, how could one person think about and talk about so many things? He's talking about leadership. He's talking about money, artha. He's talking about spirituality. He was grooming a king. How could he be able to do all this?
So it is not about Chanakya. It's about everyone could do that. Unfortunately, we lost the system. I don't know if you heard about, in the ancient Gurukul system, there were 64 kalas being taught. You heard about it? So Krishna, when he went to Gurukul, or an Arjuna went to Gurukul, were not only telling you, tum scientist banoge, tum commerce wala CA banoge. So what is the system that we had, that everybody would actually learn all subjects? The Britishers tried it, so till 10th standard, all knowledges. Then you specialize, isn't it?
Yeah.
So the word to use, how could a person do so many things simultaneously? Because the education system actually have to create polymath. Not specialist.
Yeah.
You know what is polymath?
Yes.
Polymath is a person who is a multidisciplinarian who understands a lot of things. So Chanakya, same question I asked my guru, can one person write on 180 topics?
Yeah.
180 topics in one book, okay? Arthashastra. He said it is possible. And what is the process? You want to know the process? Saying that learn from all experts and become an expert in all. So for example, Chanakya was in the field of Rajaniti. By the way, his father was a teacher of Rajaniti. So जो genetically मिल गया, घर पे मिल गया, तो मेरे को मेरा योगी father मिल गया, मैं भी योगी बन गया. So a lot of this kula gotra जो है ना बहुत जरूरी है. We don't understand the value of it. We are born in certain family. If you look at armed forces, you look at the army top heads. If you study them, 8 out of 10 actually come from armed forces background. True or no? What does it mean? That it actually is a training that has come and that soul chose to be in that particular family. So coming back, Chanakya was fortunate, and he's also called as a Yuga Purusha. He redefined the whole era. Very important, okay? So Chanakya had a training. Number one, my guru said is that you may be good at Rajaniti. But let's say, by the way, not many people know, he's a great person in the field of chemistry. He's a master of Rasayana Shastra, metallurgy. Are you aware of it? Yes. I have seen scientists who are doing research and saying that metallurgy, alloying is a subject in Arthashastra. So do you think a person can be a spiritual guru and a management guru and a metallurgist at the same time? The process is, look at the best metallurgist, learn from him, become a student, and you document that. Then you want to learn about army, go to the best army warfare expert, learn from him, document it. You want to learn about designing and color, go to them. So basically, you can be master of all trades. But first of all, you should have the interest. हमारा problem क्या होता है? हमने 2-3 सीख लेना, हो गया. Ours is a generation of specialists. And who is a specialist? Who knows more and more about less and less. So doing research in what? So today, I'll just use an academic terminology. Chanakya was, a person who could keep learning like a child, observing everything and document it. So he had a mind that could connect to various subjects simultaneously because he studied all of them. And I'll give you a formula. You know, take it down. If you spend studying a subject, okay, please note this, and it's very easy for our generation. If you study a subject, focus for 30 hours, you become a person whom nobody can fool you in that subject. I'm not saying you'll become a master of that subject. If you become a master, according to the German calculation academics, you require 10,000 hours. That's why you get a master's degree. Yes. So if you look at 2 years, multiplied by 24 hours, it actually comes to 10,000 hours. That's why you get a master's degree for 2 years. People are cutting it down and saying, ek saal mein kar do, to degree dhanda hai. You have to feel. So I'm not talking about being a master. So if you look at 30 hours, you decide. Okay? It could be 2 hours a day. Okay? So if you spend 30 hours in that field, okay, you at least know the basics. Nobody can fool you. So today, Bitcoin. Focus 30 years. So there are videos, there are books, there are experts. Baat karo. So I would say that you can also become a polymath. Chanakya's for 180 topics. You decide 10 topics. So let's say Bitcoin. Now for us it's thought, but there are so many newspaper articles, WhatsApp. Take a list, make a list, and then focus 30 hours. Make notes. So you at least know the basics of artificial intelligence. Now you want to know about design thinking. Okay? Or you want to know about YouTubers. I'm just telling you, digital economy. So we know concepts, but we don't want to study it academically with research mindset. It's possible. All of you have so much time now in this particular generation. Take up at least 30 years for the first one, second one, third one, and think about it. Maybe in a year you actually know 3 subjects. Yeah. And the beautiful part is that one is called interdisciplinary, where you can connect the both. Yes. Then multidisciplinary, and the third is transdisciplinary. You know this transdisciplinary concept? beyond all disciplines. So interdisciplinary is, let's say you're a doctor, I'm an engineer. Together we are interdisciplinary. Multidisciplinary is that I know multiple things. I'm a multidisciplinary person. So in inter I require 2 and more. In multi it's one person doing multitasking. But transdisciplinary is also iske upar bhi kuch hai. That's where spirituality comes in. That's why Chanakya says, if you want to become a master of any subject, starts with spirituality. Finally, the journey starts with spirituality and ends with spirituality. Thank you.
So my last question before I open up to the crowd over here. You spoke about the bow and the arrow and you need to go back for it to get momentum. Has the time come to bring back the Gurukul into our education system? That syllabus, that teaching, what we've probably lost, or it exists in pockets somewhere which needs to become mainstream.
So Gurukul system is never dead. Do you know? I am a researcher. I'm speaking out of data. There are at least 50,000 active Gurukuls right now in this particular day. वो क्या है ना उधर उधर देखते जिसे ढूंढा गली गली वो तो घर के पिछवाड़े मिली. In Mulund, I'm staying. I know 5 Gurukuls. I'm talking about one small suburb. Gurukuls never died. We died to the concept of Gurukul. Sanskrit never is a dead language. We are dead to the language called Sanskrit. You'll be surprised. There are Gurukuls, and I can tell you, you are to verify it. Please go and do a research and talk to an expert. 50,000 Gurukuls have been there, still working today. It could be one teacher, one student. I went to a Gurukul, isn't it? And the concept of a Gurukul when we have is that वो serial में दिखता था ना एक छोटा सा हट था, वो गुरुजी बाबाजी बैठे थे और वो खाना बना रहे थे. This, come on, move out of time. We can have a 5-star Gurukul. Why not? Actually, I'll tell you one thing more important thing. Atal Bihari Vajpayee during that particular era did a very interesting thing which we are not aware of it. And I want you to get on the mission mode. It so happened that Atal Bihari Vajpayee, somebody suggested to him saying that let us have a kind of curation of the kind of scriptures available in India, which are Gurukul scriptures. जिसको हम लोग ताड़पत्री manuscripts बोलते हैं ना. So what happened is that the Gurukul system is not like our education system where you have a formal school and you have an education system and then you give an exam certificate pass. It could be one teacher, one student. It could be in a house. It could be in a university like a Nalanda. They were all parallel. Okay. The teacher was the center point of the Gurukul. He could decide whether he wants an institution, yeah, 1-to-1, and different subjects. Okay. Even today, if you see in a movie, okay, Hum Dil De Chuke Sanam, that Salman Khan Aishwarya Rai movie. So actually, Salman Khan comes from Italy and stays in the house and learns things. That is also Gurukul. But it is not that वो घर पे रुका था ना और ऐश्वर्या से प्यार हो गया वो अलग बात है. So that is a Gurukul. वाराणसी में जाओ गली गली में आपको Gurukul मिलेंगे. So Atal Bihari Vajpayee, when you are suggested, it is called National Manuscriptology Mission. Search on Google. They went to all these people and saying that आपके पास कोई पुराण है क्या ये है जो traditionally the family में सिखाते थे. You'd be surprised how many scriptures did they find? 1 crore. Still there. Mysore University, where Kautilya Arthashastra, original written by Chanakya, is still there. Carbon dated 2,400 years ago. If you go to one university in Mysore, anybody from Mysore, next time you go there, please go there. Oriental Research Institution. One library has got 80,000 manuscripts. We have the largest collection of manuscripts in the world. जिसे ढूंढा गली गली वो तो घर के पिछवाड़े मिली. So coming back, Gurukuls are still there. Only problem is that we look at outdated. क्योंकि हमको तो अंग्रेजी में जो सीखा और थोड़ा $1 billion venture capital गया तो you are successful. You know what? You'll be surprised. The typical model is गाँव वाला शहर में आता है सीखने के लिए और शहर वाला abroad जाता है. मैं शहर वाला हूँ. I'm in the financial capital of India. I can go abroad also. I go there to teach. But where did I learn? Go to Gurukul. My single question is that who is that guru who is a subject matter expert that you want? He can be in a गाँव or it can be even in Akron. वो मेरे को रबर सीखना है तो मैं गाँव में जाके क्या सीखूं? So coming back, 50,000 on record Gurukuls are still there. My question is that do you want to send your children there?
Yeah, I think that is the most important question.
Questions,
Yes. So I'm now opening this up to the house. If you want to ask a question, please raise your hand. A mic will come to you. Please keep your question short and to the point so that Radha can take as many questions as possible. Yes. We have a book launch of his latest book, which is pending now. And of course, it is afternoon time. There is buffet lunch waiting for us. Please raise your hands and a mic will come to you. I think she gets the first choice because she's my wife.
Okay, I am Vinisha Khemani, wife of Deepak Khemani, and mother of Rishan Khemani.
Hi.
So I'm asking the question for him only. He's my younger child. I have an elder daughter. She's 23.
Wow.
He's 13.
Wow.
Okay. So as you said that you should allow the children to think. Then what about the academics? If a child keeps on thinking, what about the studies which he lags behind at times? But then grades are also again taken care of, but still importance more is given to the grades rather than his thinking or his interest or his other subjects.
This is a social problem. You are thinking about grades.
So I am thinking about grades because up to...
I was waiting for that because. Continue.
Okay. Because I used to teach him up to 6th standard. Now he is going for tuitions for maths and science for 7th and 8th grade. Okay. But whenever I talk to him for whichever subject, he always ends up and starts with the word cricket. Because as you said, Sachin Tendulkar, he started turning back and he started hearing you. Till that time he was not listening to you. Sorry to say that. But his subject of interest is only cricket, cricket, cricket.
Where is the question of grades now? Can we come back?
There is no question of grades. But a child to pass up to 10th standard, everybody can't have a Sachin Tendulkar father.
Excellent,
no?
excellent.
Everybody can't have Sachin Tendulkar father.
Excellent. Now let me ask you.
Yeah.
You are worried about his grades. You are teaching him till 6th standard or whatever.
Yeah.
Now you use another one. See, this is a diagnosis process. Huh? So when we say we are like, doctors, वो symptoms पूछते हैं ना.
Right.
तो आपका problem is getting good grades, not just passing.
Yes.
फर्क है कि नहीं? आपने second sentence क्या बोला? कि I want him to pass or do you want him to get good grades?
I want him to get good grades because he's never failed till date.
No, that's a problem you are having, not him.
Okay.
See, the parenting, we don't realize it. We impose those ideas. Let me tell you, isn't he good enough to pass?
It is good enough, but what about
not enough for me.
What about the admissions he's going to get after 10th?
That is what you think now. Admissions are irrelevant. There are so many private institutions waiting. And would you mind giving him an education in a government free school?
No,
that's your problem. See, branding आ गया ना वापस. I want my child to go to this school only. And Mishra ji के साथ मेरा बेटे का
No, I wouldn't mind going for government school also.
You're still talking about you. You're not talking about cricket.
Exactly, that's what I'm telling you. We keep telling him that you cannot become a cricketer.
We or you?
We. Why? Because he's not gone to any training like Sachin Tendulkar used to go.
Wait. Cricket खेलना is not the only career. There is one person, his name is Harsha Bogle.
Okay, yeah,
he
commentator.
Is one of the
yeah.
largest
We keep telling him you can become a speaker because he's same like father.
You cannot decide for him. The experts have to decide for him.
Okay.
Everything revolves around you, not him.
Till date it revolves around me because he's just in 8th grade.
So start detaching yourself.
Okay.
No, very important. See, where the questions are shifting, there's an interest in cricket. But remember one thing, I'm not sure whether that interest in cricket because he's watching and speaking is the real thing. I need to verify with an expert, right?
He's
so
watching.
आपको गाना सिखाना है, आपका problem है. वो teacher बोलेगा एक बार गा के देखा, सुर लगा नहीं है. Sorry, go there.
Okay.
The problem with okay, I'll tell you something. How many people in your family?
We are 4.
One. Khatam. I'll tell you something. Now it has become your responsibility. बोलने के लिए we है, वो आपका ही है. Gone. I'll tell you something. It is said in our culture, you require a village to bring up a child. In the South African culture, you require a tribe to bring up a child, isn't it? It's you. In the last COVID days, when did he go and play with 30 people? I told you this problem. From joint family, it has become a nuclear family to become individual. Does he know what is syllabus? No, it's you. Really. Understand my point?
So just give me tips. How do I detach from his studies? Because all the time
okay.
I keep
thinking. For the next 30 days, 1 hour, okay? Sit with him, observing him, let him speak, you will not talk.
Okay. Done. I promise you.
Don't even advise. Be a student of his.
Okay.
Marks का बाद में देखेंगे. All the best.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, I'm not actually asking a question, but I'm just wanting to reinforce what Radha is saying. Firstly, I must tell you that it has been such an enlightening talk, and not a single word would I say I don't agree with. I also take today as something for my validation that many of the things you said I'm doing, and I said, oh, thank God, I'm on the right line. But this question came to me a couple of times while he was talking about our children. And I've been doing a lot of parenting workshops, and I say exactly what he's saying. And the story is from my own son. I have my son studying in the same school where I was a chairman. And he would never study. And my problem, like what Radha is saying, not his problem, my problem was that there should not be news one day that the only guy who's failed in the 12th class exam is the chairman's son. So I was worried about that. I used to come home and I see him watching cricket. I said, tu meri naak katwaega. Ek din aisi khabar aane wali hai कि the only child who's failed is the chairman's child. But tuitions करके कैसे भी पप्पू पास हो गया. Just bare minimum marks. And I threw a big party. After the party, when everyone had gone, my daughter says, Papa, I got 90% marks. You never threw a party like this. I said, ye bahut crucial thi. And then I said, I want to make an announcement. Anish is not going to go to college. My wife said, are you mad? Like Deepak's wife also will say. I said, no. I know that people who do well in life, and in my corporate training, I ask people many times, what are the grades you got when you were young? And the people who are doing very well were not the ones who got very good grades. And they are not important, but we forget it. We forget that. So I said he's not going to college. My son has never been to college, so he's not a college dropout. You have to go to the college to drop out. He didn't go. But just to tell you in short, I allowed him to do what he was good at, what he said, photography. He became a world-known photographer. By the age of 24, he had traveled to 34 countries. 7 of those countries had invited him at their expense to cover their tourism. Right? In that, he got interested in beer when he went to Italy to cover Italy's tourism and all that. And today, he is not doing professional photography. He is in business, doing an excellent business. There is nobody in his class, including the toppers, who are anywhere near him. And I take pride in not forcing myself to make him go to college. So my only one bit of practical experience advice to all parents is, don't own their life. It is their life. And you have to be very, very interested in finding out what is the child good at and how will you support the child in his or her purpose, not yours. Thank you.
Can we get a mic there? हाँ बोल दीजिए चलिए चलेगा.
Sir, just a question. I don't want to put you on the spot. Yeah, I'll answer it short. Please. I thought मेरी आवाज बुलंद है पर ठीक है. So, are you up for taking up a small cause in the educational field for children with physical disabilities? Would you be able to do that? If yes, then I'll speak to you after the.
See, there are two parts of it. Physical disability students. I want students. Ability I'll develop.
I got my. I want to speak to you about that, so we'll
take it up.
Yeah.
See, I'll tell you, we have no
much.
idea. Children learn. We look at the disability. I'm happy to do this.
Sir, I'm 95% blind.
and I have multiple design patterns. I don't believe that disability is the problem. I believe that the attitude of the teachers and the parents are, and that's after listening to you, I believe that I found an answer in somebody who can help me get that message through to people. So that's the question I had in mind.
Happy to help you.
This is regarding Nadi Shastra. I'm Ayurveda Acharya, Sanskrit graduate, psychologist, and practice a number of alternative healing modalities. So one of them I practice systemic constellation, and one of them is regression, past life regression. So as you talked about past lives, in regression we connect a student to a talent past lives. And of course it is retrieving the subconscious knowledge and developing further. So to give one small example in brief, I had one. Yeah. Now the question is like this modality and Nadi Shastra, how they are different. I haven't experienced Nadi Shastra. So
the question is that you are practicing something, you are not aware of Nadi Shastra.
I am aware of, I have not experienced.
So
I would like to know. Yeah.
So I would say this is called comparative analysis of your field.
True.
Okay. So what you do, try it out, then you'll know the best of it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No. Thank you. Thank you so much. I just want to make sure that homeschooling shouldn't become a fad that you are trying, because there are pluses and minuses both in that. So you said something very nice. A lot of people are trying. ठीक है ना, करने दो और हम भी करो. In order to address this problem, I have written a book called as Chatur Chanakya. Okay. Interestingly, that boy is very intelligent. His parents are very intelligent, but his parents force him to go to a school. Initially, first day में पता नहीं चलता. Because his father realized he's very intelligent, but he lacks social skills. When you go to physical school with 60 people around, you are also bullied. You are compared. You are disciplined. And I can tell you, there is a friend of mine whose daughter is getting homeschooled. Okay, she has got a lot of mental issues. Yeah, because when she goes in groups, she suddenly finds, nobody is giving me attention. Ghar pe to beti, beta, wo ye sab karke 24/7 the mother is a teacher. The father is an excellent chartered accountant. He's spending money on her. But realize one thing, she had gone for a camp where our children also gone, after 2 days, the mother had to come and pick her up and saying that nahi hota. My point is that homeschooling is not the question whether you're developing all skills, including social skills. So if you are able to give homeschooling plus thing, fine. But my question is that why only homeschooling? Is there a logic behind it or it's a fad again? Think about it. No schooling is bad as long as the child learns, but the child should learn many things. And social skill is something you have to, because we have seen in leadership field, academically brilliant people don't go up because they don't know how to interact as team members. So if you're a brilliant academically, that's a major problem. Baki jo log hai na, so when I become a manager, I got all varieties of people with me. That is what you learn when you send your child down in the society to play. He will get bullied. My father says, जब cousins मिलते हैं, friends मिलते हैं, झगड़ा होना चाहिए. तो होना चाहिए, उसमें सीखने मिलते हैं. खेलना भी चाहिए, झगड़ना भी चाहिए. So if you are able to balance that into homeschooling, great. If not, he will have a lot of mental health issues. He will not be able to understand why people are not giving importance. My suggestion to all parents also, if you have a single child, making socially intelligent is more important. Because he or she may get all the privileges and he may fail when it goes to the real world where you are bullied, compared directly, indirectly. And people come to me with corporate politics. I said, tell me your family background. You see a connect? People who get into corporate politics is because they feel I am the dunya gandhi mein acha. So coming back, it will help you if you develop social skills. Homeschooling, if you like it, go for it. Thank you. Yeah. Maybe just will. Yeah. My goodness. Sorry. Wrong question. Last 2 years is a COVID problem. Okay, so people are, I find this very bad with parents and saying that, 2 साल में पूरा बच्चे का life decide कर. It's a common problem for the whole world, isn't it? You can't change a system because of this temporary gap back. Everybody's waiting to go to school. Secondly, when they're getting bullied, don't protect them. Teach them how to handle bullying. I can't understand why are you getting into that mode कि उसके मम्मी को मैं दिखाऊंगी. अरे उसके मम्मी को क्या दिखाना है, बच्चे को दिखा, उसको कैसे हैंडल करना है. I hope the child is physically strong. झगड़ा करने को सिखाया कि नहीं सिखाया? I don't understand this. Come on. I'll tell you, my children go down and there is this guy who is a bully, okay? My wife complains to me and all those things. Radha, you're a nice guy, but this... So that as a mother, उनको सिखा. He used to get outside people into the house, into the building. Because हमारे बच्चे 2 और अकेला है. He's a single child. And both the parents go to work. Too much important. चाहिए वो मिलता है. He's becoming like a bully. And he's trying to number game is different. तुम 2 हमें 1. बाहर से बच्चों को लेके आया. You understand? Don't make your child protective. They will never be with you. Shivaji was trained by Jijamata to fight. And please understand, fighting doesn't mean fighting with the enemy. You build the confidence in him that yes, you have to be strong, especially with the girl child. Okay, don't overprotect her. Okay, protect her to a particular point. But Chanakya says after 15 years, they are free. They can go anywhere in the world and they can get bullied there also. Isn't it true? So make them strong in these 2 years. Take it as a place where you had a nice family time. Now push them back to the world. Mothers are the first teachers, or mothers are not the only teachers of the child. Please note this. And I'll tell you something, parenting is a role that ends, but let not parenting become your identity. फर्क समझ रहे हो? Parenting is a role that ends, but don't be parents forever. And I'll tell you, unfortunately, we have seen that, पूरी दुनिया में क्या किया तुमने achievement, 2 बच्चों को बड़ा किया. Good, great, go and find out a new thing. Motherhood is a great privilege, but are you telling जाओ अभी अपनी जिंदगी लड़ लो. So my point is that 2 साल में जो हुआ है, don't make it a permanent thing, अभी मैं decide करूंगी. I've been like, नहीं, don't go to school because homeschooling is available. 2 साल पहले क्यों नहीं सोचा? And by the way, the discussions, I know this. I mean, with teachers and principals, So think about it, and I'm very, very careful about this. Everything that you're doing right now, every sentence that you speak is going to change the child's behavior forever. You are the people who are programming it. पहले तो 4 programmers थे. स्कूल में थे, बच्चे थे, फ्रेंड्स थे, कजिन्स थे, कोई नहीं है. Very, very, thank you so much.